What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Before I get into this video, I want to say a quick little word. If you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to Too Raw for TV, shame on you, and subscribe to Too Raw for TV. If you haven't hit that little bell, make sure you hit that bell so you'll be notified every video that's dropped on this channel. And also hit that like button if you like and appreciate the content. YouTube has certain things in the algorithm to suppress the smaller channels like mine and like other channels, the LDBC. But if you do these things, the LDBC, because I know you guys support the LDBC, the LDB will be that much stronger. Now, let's talk about the American League Championship Series, okay? It was between the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees. Now, the NLCS had already been decided. The Washington Nationals just obliterated the St. Louis Cardinals 4-0. So that's decided. But what was not yet decided was who they would play. Would it be the mighty New York Yankees with one of the greatest offenses in modern baseball history? Or would it be the Houston Astros, a team that's been dominant in the American League since it switched over from the National League back in 2013? And the Houston Astros had took a commanding 3-1 lead, but they lost Game 5. But it would go back home in Game 6. And this game, I looked at it. I was on the phone with a buddy of mine. This was a game, one of the best games. This is why I kind of don't watch baseball during the regular season. If somebody doing something individually brilliant or noteworthy, if a guy it's about to get a 3,000 career hit or 500 home run or 400 or 600 home run or like Cal Ripken streak. Yeah, I'll watch those games for those milestone moments because unlike some other sports, baseball does cherish its history. I will always give baseball that. It does cherish its history. All right. But other than that, sometimes I don't watch the regular season. But the playoffs, I will watch it because these games are great to watch. The drama, the tense moments, all right, the near misses. Sometimes a guy can come just a mere inch from what is a strikeout, but if he just came a little bit closer, just an inch closer, it would have translated to a 450-foot home run. It's a real, baseball is truly a game of inches, as is football. But earlier on, the Yankees were down 3-0. All right. But they're able to come back. And I think it was off of a home run by a 2-run homer by LeMahieu. I think it was at the bottom of the eighth inning. I think it was. Might have been bottom of the eighth or bottom of the seventh. I think it was bottom of the eighth. They tied the game at 4-all. But Jose Altuve, who was their best player for the Houston Astros, came through with a dramatic shot, a 2-run homer, a walk-off, which propelled the Houston Astros to their second World Series appearance in just 3 years, 3 seasons, I should really say. And the Astros are the favorite. They're the favorite coming into this series, but a lot of people favored the New York Yankees over the Astros. So that doesn't really say too much, okay? Um, this Houston Astros team is probably the best team in the history of this franchise. They've been around since 1962 when they were called the Houston Colt 45s, before political correctness. Because you ain't gonna have a team called the Colt 45s. And they're not talking about no goddamn beer either. All right. But they're gonna be tested. All right. Because the Nationals have some sensational pitching. Oftentimes, even though people are all about offense, it's defense that wins championships. And they have the Nationals have a nasty rotation, which includes Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, Patrick Corbin, and Anibal Sanchez. Okay, so this is not going to be an easy go of it for the Houston Astros. Not at all. For the New York Yankees, once again, a disappointing playoff outcome for them. Some people have really questioned. I was looking at some posts on social media. I was looking at Yankee fans. They really questioned the decision, all right, for Aaron Boone, who himself hit a dramatic home run for the Yankees just 16 years ago. I remember that like it was yesterday. Although they would ultimately fail to win the World Series that year. think it was against the Marlins. But some people have questioned Aaron Boone's decision, all right, to go at Altuve. He's their best hitter. He'd been hot throughout the entire playoffs, especially the ALCS. All right, and some people have questioned his decision to go at Altuve and not walk him and go after the weaker hitter and hitters around him. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I think this is what I want to say. This was like his third home run of this postseason. Altuve, well, fourth, something like that. So some people are questioning, the decision making right there. Some of his decision makings as far as Boone, the manager, late in the game. Some people like, see, this is why they should never got rid of Joe Girardi, blah, blah, blah. But there's something that has to be said about this Yankee team. Look, not just the manager. What's happened to the dream matchup tandem that was supposed to be Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge? Aaron Judge pretty much choked this postseason, and Giancarlo Stanton, who hit 59 home runs just 2 years ago. Okay, I think for what was it, Toronto Blue Jays? I don't really follow baseball like I used to, but I go off memory a little bit. I think he hit 59 home runs for Toronto Blue Jays, and he's been injury plagued, and they have been, according to people who I know in New York, they have been killing him up there on radio. Like the guy's not, they're not producing. And this is the first decade for the New York Yankees since the 1980s, and only the second decade overall that the Yankees have failed to win at least one World Series. Only the 1980s, since the Yankees have have changed from the Highlanders to the Yankees sometime in the 19 teens. They didn't. It wasn't the full decade of 19 teens. So I don't count that decade. But since the 1920s, this is only the second decade the Yankees have failed to win at least one World Series during a decade. And this is the first decade since they really became the Yankees in the 1920s that they didn't even make a World Series appearance. Their last one being in 2009, 10 years ago, and 11 seasons ago. So the Yankees have failed. But congratulations to Houston Astros. And it should be an intriguing matchup between the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals. This is one reason why I like baseball as opposed to basketball, but I think basketball has changed a little bit with that. It's parity. It's fun for fans of the team. If you're fans of the Warriors, all right. If you are fans of the Lakers in the early 2000s, if you're fans of the Bulls, all right, in the 90s, if you're a fan of the Celtics and the Lakers in the 80s, yeah, it's fine. It's great for you, but for everybody else, it sucks because you get tired of seeing the same teams year in and year out in the goddamn finals or in whatever, or in the championship series. In baseball, as of late, you haven't really seen that. You know what I'm saying? You see different teams. This decade was a pleasure to watch as far as being a watcher of Major League Baseball. Even the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs won a World Series. What an awesome moment for Chicago Cubs fans to finally know what it's like to win a World Series. I remember just back in 2004, you know what I'm saying, the Red Sox ended their 86-year drought. Since 1918, they won a World Series. And they won, I think, to win, 4 World Series since 2004? And the Cubs, they ended their 100, I think it was 8-year drought or something like that. I don't think they had won a World Series since 1908 when Teddy Roosevelt was president of the United States. Teddy Roosevelt was born in 1858. All right, I don't think the Cubs have been in the World Series since 1945, when Harry Truman was in the first few months of his presidency, having taken over since the death of Franklin Delano Roosevelt on April 12th, 1945. So And we've seen the Giants win the World Series. We've seen the Mets go to a World Series. We've seen the Royals win a World Series, I think. We've seen, a plethora of teams in the 2000s win World Series. The Phillies, the White Sox, I think the Rays went to a World Series, and now the Astros. Only one team, that's the Seahawks. Excuse me. Football. Mariners. Only the Mariners haven't been to a World Series. So this should be an intriguing matchup. Tell me what you guys think. All right. And if you support my content, if you can, if you want to, you can hit the donation via PayPal or Cash App if you can. But I would much rather prefer you guys sign up to the Patreon. On the Patreon, I'm able to talk about things I can't talk about on YouTube. I'd like to thank everybody that signed up to the Patreon. I will make another Patreon video today. And thank you all.